welcome back to Ozarks Prepared. This is the right place for you if you want to know how to prepare, survive, and thrive. What are you doing right now? I'm coming up on 30 days, and there's a lot of people who are on 60 days. And depending on what source you listen to, it could last anywhere from 3 weeks up to 6 months longer. Are you using this time wisely? Are you learning? Are you upping your preparedness game? Or if you haven't even started, are you thinking about starting? Or are you just sitting back waiting for it all to pass? In this video, I'm going to tell you the 13 things that preppers are doing right now. Let's get to it. I'm just looking at myself in the camera here, and obviously one of the things that I haven't been doing is shaving. Man, I'm starting to look like a chia pet. I wonder if I let it grow. Well, a guy can dream, can he? All things aside, here are 13 things that preppers are doing now, and you need to think about doing them. Number one, becoming a producer instead of a consumer. Now, this is very important. If the coronavirus has showed you anything, it should be how fragile our distribution system is. All the media had to do was talk about toilet paper and talk about hand sanitizer. In 48 hours, there was none to be found. We're having some food shortages on a lot of items, and in fact overseas, like in Italy, they're running out of food in some places. So taking the steps in case this does last, worst case scenario, up to 6 months, or even the last 30 to 60 days, being able to provide your own food is going to take a lot of stress out of your mind. Start by planting a garden. If you don't have outside space, you can do an inside garden using these biodome sets. They'll send you the biodome and some soil and some seeds of your choice. You can buy those. What you do is you just plant them in there, follow the directions, water, and in 2 to 4 weeks you can take them and you can transfer them to a garden if you have an outdoor space. If not, you can just transfer them to bigger pots inside and grow them inside. Another thing you can look at is getting chickens and animals like that that's not only going to provide you with eggs, but can provide you with meat later. So really focus on becoming a producer and not falling victim to the store lines. The second thing that preppers doing is we are keeping a food and a water ledger. Do you really know how much food you use in a day? Do you know how much water you use in a day? Well, if you've been quarantined, there's probably a couple things you've noticed. You tend to eat a little more when you're just sitting at home not doing much. So be sure and keep busy. But definitely keep a very good ledger on the food you eat and the water you drink, so you know how much calories and how much food and water your family is using on a daily and weekly basis. This is going to help you to really set aside, if it does last 6 months, how much food and water you need. Now what I do, even though I've got the ledger, I also use a food and water calculator, and I will link that up in the description if you want to check that out. Third, you need to work on security. If things continue to get bad and people are at home long enough and they're getting cabin fever and they're running out of food, people are going to go a little crazy. Now I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because I've got a video on home security and how to secure your house, and I'll link that up on the end card at the end. But you want to do things like reinforce your doors, get some door stops, put some bars on your window, maybe put some of this film on your window that makes it hard to break. As far as perimeter security goes, maybe have a tripwire flashbang like this.
Off goes the bang alarm.
There's a lot of different ways you can do to improve your security and your perimeter security, and I'll link that video at the end. Number 4, you want to check your first aid kit. Make sure that you have everything in there that you need. Make sure you're not running low on anything. In case something happens, something minor or even a little bit more serious, you can have the means at home to be able to take care of it. You don't have to risk going out to the doctor or going to a place where people might be contagious. I've got a first aid kit checking list. I've got a vehicle checking list. I've got every checklist you can imagine, even a prepping checklist that lists hundreds and hundreds of items and where you can get that. And if you're interested, I'll link that in the description. Number 5 is you need to perfect your bug out plan. What a perfect time to just go over all the ins and outs of your bug out plan. If things get worse, if your neighborhood becomes unsafe, do you have a plan for your whole family to get out, to get to your bug out location? Do you have your bags and everything together in case you have to pick up and leave quick? You need to make sure that you take this time to really plan your escape, put it on paper, let your whole family know, not only just bugging out, but if there's a fire or anything else that could happen, you need these plans down. It's just good for safety, and what a perfect time to plan them. Number 6, use this time to increase your knowledge. I've been prepping for over 20 years, and I still try to increase my knowledge every chance I get. There's other prepping and homesteading channels that I watch just to learn things that I might not be an expert at yet, or things that I want to get a little bit better at. I watch them to learn. So definitely take the time to read blogs, to watch the videos, to research things that can help you in your preparedness journey. Number 7, you want to service your weapons. It does you no good to have the weapons if you don't keep it clean. So use this time to clean them, oil them, get them in good shape, sharpen your knives, sharpen your axes, whatever weapons you have. Take the time to take care of them in this time, because you never know when you're going to use them. You can take some online courses, and there are plenty of online courses on different things, from canning foods, from perimeter security, from first aid. There is a lot of knowledge out there on the internet that you can use this time to really make sure you're bettering yourself. Take advantage of the free things, and if there are some things that cost, sometimes it could be well worth it. But there's a lot of knowledge out there from people who have been through certain situations and have been doing it longer than you, that you could really benefit from. You need to know the difference between real and fake news. I mean, you've got news saying all kinds of things, that it's not the corona, it's 5G, that the aliens started it. I mean, you really need to really dig down, and when you hear a story, verify it through 2 or 3 other news mediums. There's nothing worse than fake news that's going to create hysteria and everything else out there. Make sure you double check it, able to tell the difference between real and fake news. Number 10, you need to have real-time drills. And this is something I do all the time, and I do with my kids, and it's great. So one drill might be, okay, I'm going to sit when this timer goes off, and they never know what's going to go off, could be in a day or 2. This timer goes off, something's happened. We've got 5 minutes to get our bags and get out the door and go to where we're supposed to be on our bug out location. And you've got exactly 5 minutes. You've got to get what you've got together, ready to go, and out that door in 5 minutes, because in 5 minutes, the drill's over. So it's just a good way to see how in tune everybody is with your preparedness plan and what all you have. So having real-time drills like this really do wonders if it were to come down to a real situation. There's a reason schools do this, because it helps. Your mind's used to it, your body follows, and it becomes muscle memory. So take advantage of this time. You need to stay mentally and physically sharp in this time. It's easy to, when you're at home, just to sit there and snack all day and not work out your brain and not work out your body. But as you know, these are 2 of your most important preps. So take the time to still eat right, to still get your workouts done, still get your steps done. Even if you're in a small space, there's different things you can do. So definitely don't let your body go in this time. You never know when you're going to have to bug out, and you need to make sure that it can perform when the time comes. Number 12, practicing on our situational awareness. Now, I'm not going to go in depth on this because I've done a video on this before on situational awareness with the OODA loop, and I'll put that on an end card as well for you to check out. But you really need to take the time to practice your situational awareness. Make sure you know your surroundings, you know your neighbors. Are they acting weird? What's their schedules? Are they crazy? If this continues to progress, just knowing what's normal and what's abnormal in your neighborhood and in your surroundings could really save your life. Use this time to set preparedness goals. Know where you want to be in 2 weeks. Know where you want to be in a month. Know where you want to be 5-10 years down the road. Because I tell you one thing, situations like this has happened before in America and the world, and it will happen again. You can use this time to learn from this, learn where some of your downfalls were, and make it better. So set preparedness goals, and I've got a really good video walking you through preparedness goals and how to set them and how to achieve them. And again, I'll put that in the description. One thing's for sure, there's 2 types of people. people who's going to use this to make themselves better, to learn from it, to make sure they're prepared in case something happens or if this progresses, and people who's still going to blow it off and believe that nothing bad's going to happen. The government's going to take care of them, and I do believe Trump's doing a fantastic job right now. But there's only so much he can do, so you need to really take this time to make sure you're prepared and you're bettering yourself, not only for you, but for your family. Thank you for joining. Be sure to click up here on the different videos. Some good links in there. Be sure to check the description because I've got some links to some of the food calculators and water calculators and the checklist that'll really come in handy in this time. I really appreciate your time, and as always, remember, prepare, survive, and thrive.